Hey there, Cyber Tankers, Gamer Dom here. I'm on the test server this morning, taking a look at a tank that really interests me. Actually, when I saw this was coming in the new Czech line, I thought I'd have to have a play with it because I love the T34, and this is a variant of the T34. It's the T34-100. So it's everything we know as the T34, but then it's got this mad ass gun on the top. Look at that. It's huge. It is absolutely huge. I suppose it has to be to carry a 100mm cannon on top. Yeah. So this is the new T34-100 coming in the next patch. I believe everything seems to be pointing to the fact it will come sometime before the end of the year with the whole Czech line. So let's have a look at the quick look at the Czech line. So here you go. They're all mediums. Well, they start out as light tanks and then they run through mediums. Most of these, you know. So what? Until you get to about here, tier 5. Tier 6 is the T35 Skoda, which is an interesting looking tank. It's already in the game as a premium tank in the German tech tree, but this is a rather different. It's got an autoloader on it, which is interesting to say the least, but that's for another day. And then here's the T34-100, which the observant of you will have noticed is on tier 7. As opposed to the T34-85 in the Russian tech tree, which is on tier 6. And that's entirely down to this big ass gun. So it's an interesting looking tank, and I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to be that much fun to play for real, but in my book a T34 is a T34, and you know there's certain iconic tanks that are iconic tanks that are iconic. Yeah, very good words. You know, being the fact that it was one of those tanks from the Second World War that everybody recognises pretty much, a bit like the Sherman. You know, I think they have a sort of soft spot, certainly in my heart, in terms of them in World of Tanks. So, you know, what is it going to be like? Well, it's difficult to tell. Test servers always, you know, full of people firing gold because they can, because you get a huge amount of free resources when you start the game, and also trying to get lower tier matches is always tricky because everybody goes in and plays tier 9 and 10, because why wouldn't you? Well, why wouldn't you is actually to have a try out of some of these other tanks that are going to be kind of interesting as we move forward. So let's have a quick look at it. It basically is a T34-85 hull. So you know, it's got no armour for a tier 7 tank. It's 45mm of armour all round, which is basically exactly the same as the T34. However, I wonder, certainly when I play the T34, which is one of my favourite tanks in the game, I do get bounces occasionally. It has got some nice angling here, but going up a tier against some of those bigger guns, you know, bearing in mind this will see up to tier 9, they're just going to go straight through it. So you know, you're not going to be bouncing anything unless you're extremely lucky. Engine wise, it's got this 520 horsepower engine, which is actually smaller, I believe, than the one on the T34-85. However, its top speed is the same. They both have a top speed of 54 miles an hour. kph, sorry, not miles an hour. We're a continental here. And when I've played it on the test server, it feels sluggish. However, it will keep going, and if you have a chance, you can keep moving, and it will get up to that speed, or get up to somewhere near 50. So, you know, it's got a lot of weight on it, and the engine's slightly smaller, and so, you know, it's not going to run around like your T34-85. More's the pity. But the reason why is obviously this big gun, and it sits in this huge turret. It's just enormous. And the turret itself is kind of interesting. Again, I I don't. It's difficult to tell on the test server whether you're going to bounce anything. You know, whether really you're going to bounce anything, because say most people are firing gold at you a lot of the time. But the armor is supposed to be 90 on the front, and certainly that bulbous gun mantle looks enormous, and it's very rounded. So I would imagine that shots do deflect off that. However, again, you shouldn't count on it. And actually, 90 millimeters is pretty much what the T34-85 has in its turret. So again, you're a tier higher, and you've got the same armor as your T34-85. Side of the turret is 75, which is again the same as the T34-85. So, but it is all about this gun, and this gun is a fascinating one. It's got really good penetration. 175 at tier 7. 175 is what, if memory serves me, the T44 Russian medium tank gets at tier 8. And T44 is underpenetrated, underpowered in terms of penetration for sure. But still, you're a tier lower, and you've got the same sort of penetration as a tier 8. So that's got to be good, right? 250 damage is also not a problem. It's a good hard-hitting tank gun, as you'd expect with a 100mm. It fires heat, and that penetration goes up to a whopping 250. But of course you're going to need that, because when you come up against tier 9 tanks and even tier 8 tanks, 175 isn't going to work particularly. Whereas 250, yeah, you've got a fighting chance. The biggest problem I've had with this gun is the aim time and the huge aim radical that comes up with this. If you move the turret, if you move the tank, it balloons out and then takes quite a long time to come back in. So it's difficult to take snapshots. You've got to aim or get very close. And I think, from what I can tell of this tank, it seems to be one of those things that you need to be a bit of a brawler, or nip in when nobody's looking and take a few close range shots and then try and get out of the way. Now, the problem is, unlike the T34-85 and other variants like that, they've got the acceleration. This doesn't. So is it going to work? I don't know. It remains to be seen. It's kind of fun tank to play though, all the same. So on the test server, I've equipped it with gun rammer, because you do, and gun laying drive, because you need to help with that aim time, because it's horrible. Now I have put coated optics on, because visibility on these tanks or any kind of T34s isn't fantastic. And that gets me up to 370. I'm seriously wondering whether it's better to swap out and put vents in. In fact, let's do that, see what happens, because vents will give obviously another 5% to crew skills, which will help aim time, it will help load time. So yeah, okay, that's a done deal. The other interesting fact on this one is you don't have a huge amount of ammo. What's that, 30 rounds in total? So I would imagine in a prolonged game you're going to start running out. But again, I guess that's the fact you've got a small tier 6 tank with a massive turret on top, 5 crew inside, and then you've got to put the shells in somewhere as well. So that's probably why it's so much, such a limited ammo line out. But you know what? Apart from looking like something that's got elephantitis and it's got a massive head, it's not a bad looking tank, I guess. I don't that bulbous mantlet there is a little bit off-putting, but hey, it's got a 100mm gun, and guns is good. So let's have a look and see what happens when we take it out, if we can get a game on the test server. Just talk amongst yourselves while we load up, because it's always like this. Okay, good. So this is going to be an interesting test. So we're in a tier 8 game. Winterberg, which is... oh, game crashed. Not so good. Okay, so we're on Winterberg, tier 8 game. So what are we going to do? Seeing a lot of people, not that I've played a huge number of games, but quite a few people trying out the T34-100 because the gun depression has been increased from just 3 degrees down to 5 degrees, which is interesting. I think there was another buff as well. Frankly, it needed a buff. It was one of the first tanks I bought as a premium, and I hate it. I just can't get on with it. So load time on this gun, not too bad, 7 seconds there to load up. But you can see what I mean. You move this turret and look at the radical. It's not much fun. So we're going to head up towards the mini village up here. I haven't got 6th sense on this tank because obviously it's a new crew. See what we can... oh, no gun depression, so it's going to be a challenge. Again, I guess, you know, physics dictate that you've got a big ass gun like this one has on a small chassis. Your gun depression is not going to be that fantastic. Can we get up here and see anything? Can't get a shot on any of those boys. Not sure I'd pen him from this angle anyway, but okay, let's maybe move on up. We've got assistance there. How do I get assistance? Oh look, there's a sort of super Pershing in the back there. Oh, sluggish. You see that? Turning around there was a little bit tricky, and Tiger, can I hit the Tiger? That wasn't so bad. What was that, 216? Bit of a low roll, but no, not a bad shot. See if we can get another one before he pulls away. Another one, 257. So that's a pretty good accurate shot, that. I'm surprised how accurate that is. And we're getting crossfire from over here. Can't see him. So if you can get into a position and where you can actually let the gun aim in, you've got a chance. We're hammering these boys, so it's not going to be much of a game by the look of it. Wow, I like your arty position. That's pretty ballsy. Cost him his life though. Shoo, that went a long way around. Long way wide. Where is he? Can I get a shot into that T30 IS-3? No, doesn't look like it. Oh, SU-100 up there. Whoa, must have been an ammo rack, 580. That must have been an ammo rack on that one. But you know, this gun, whew, it's at the end of the day, let's be honest, most of us like to what we love about World of Tanks is that gun, is firing our guns and blowing the shit out of things, and oh, bounced off a T-69 because it's got such a fabulous armour. Oh well. Well, you notice I haven't used any heat at all, because it doesn't seem to need it at the moment. Let's see if we can get a shot on this boy again. Track him as well. Didn't manage to track him, but we did hit him. He's now looking at me. Made him angry. Is he reloading? He's got an angle there, I can't really get him. He's angled and scraping, side scraping there. So let's push up a bit, because why not? We want to do more damage, don't we? Let's see, can we get round on that boy? He knows I'm here. Obviously I haven't got any sixth sense. Critted him, but wasn't really what I wanted. Ah! Oh, let's just go and kill him. Good, good. So, what have we got left? Oh, an IS-3. Oh, I took a snapshot. Oh, I bounced an IS-3 on the side. Blimey. Who needs armour, huh? So you can let that gun aim. You can do some damage in this thing. However, I mean, look at my armor ammo count. Speak, Dominic. And then, of course, I don't manage. Maybe I'll put some heat and see what that does here. I stupidly thought he couldn't see me. Just sit there and take a shot. Never mind. But you know what? Look at that. I mean, that's that gun is kind of nice. It takes some time to aim in, so you could see that you need to give it the gun a chance to fire. And certainly when I took that long range shot at the IS-3, let's see. Looks like we're going to lose this one, but anyway. When I took that shot at the IS-3 at range, the shot went nowhere near him. Nowhere near him at all. So I think it's a tank that you're going to have to get reasonably close with, which is going to be a challenge, because you also saw the mobility isn't fantastic. You know, it's not awful, but it's not T34-85 styly. So you're going to have to. Nobody's looking at the map. Yeah, there you go. That was pretty obvious, mate, that someone was coming around that flank on you, and just keep side on. That's a good plan. Luckily, he's a numpty too. So anyway, yeah, a good little tank. I like the look of it. I like that gun. It's going to be fun, I think, which is the main thing. Big worries in it: the mobility, a lack of armor, and that ammo count out. I think that's going to be a challenge. That wasn't a particularly brilliant game. Yeah, I didn't have a huge. Well, I'll say that 1500 damage, 1 kill. Actually, look at that. All our big boys, all our top. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players did pretty well, whereas they only had a few players. Mind you, this guy here had a monster. Anyway, let's look at the stats. So 14 shots fired, 12 hits, which surprised me, but then I was engaging mainly at sort of medium to short range, so 7 penetrations, which is fine. 1500 damage, as we know. Yeah, look at that. Only a quarter of that was less than that. A third of that was from long range, and we took 7 hits, surprisingly, and bounced 2, which I find amazing in that, including that IS-3 hitting us in the side. Go figure. So credits, well, it is what it is on credits. So you know what, I think this is going to be an interesting little tank. Whether or not it's a keeper, like I find my T34-85 was a keeper, but then I sold it when I got the Rudy because it's identical but better, and you get a dog. So yeah, nice little tank. I think it's going to be fun. It's one of the more interesting ones, I think, on the new Czech line. We'll see what it's like when it's brought onto the server itself. Obviously, the caveat on all these stats is the fact that they do sometimes adapt them and change them depending on some of the testing and how it goes, and to rebalance them. But you know, it should be fun. I look forward to playing it for real on the real test server, on the real server, not the test server. So anyway, this is GamerDom. Thanks very much for watching, and if you like the video, please click like, and please subscribe as well, because I'm trying to do a few videos as and when I get the opportunity, and it'd be great to get some subscribers, so you know, makes it all worthwhile. But also, you know, if you've got any feedback or any ideas of tanks you want to have a look at, then let me know in the comments. So see you again soon. Thanks.